Hey, Brian, my name is James Masella from Movie Death Post. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with me today.
Hey, thank you, man. It's my pleasure.
I apologize if I sound terrible. I've been sick all week, so we'll try to get through this as harmless as possible.
You sound good, dude. Just, that lemon tea ready for your voice. You're all good.
So, Brian, why did you want to come on for The Boneyard? I know it's been your first movie in a couple of years now. Why The Boneyard?
Well, it's there's many reasons. I love the script. Um, I know the story, which I know a lot of these cases and the story that was that inspired this script. And I've known Vincent McDaniel, who wrote it, for I met him when I was doing Deputy. I filmed Deputy, the TV show with and Stephen Dorff, and we shot in Albuquerque, and that's where I met Vincent. And Vincent was working for craft service. He's helping out with Crafty, and we struck up a conversation just talking about whatever life, filmmaking, acting, and he's like, this isn't what I do. I'm just helping out, but I'm a writer, producer, and you and I are gonna make a movie together. And I'm like, done, let's do it. So this came up, and that was an immediate yes. That's it was, and not to mention it's a good script.
Have you heard of the West Mesa murders before you took the role? Did you like delve into research it once you got cast in
It
it?
When I was filming in Albuquerque 4 or 5 years ago, that's when I learned about that case. It came up on the local news, and I was just so happened to be watching local news and TV at that time, and I was that story I never heard about it before, um, and it intrigued me. Like, wow, that's an interesting, it's an interesting case. That's an interesting study, and then it came up. Then I saw it, and literally like the next week, an episode. It was featured on Dateline or ID. I forget which one it was, but there was a whole episode based on that, and I was blown away uh, by this story. And so then I did start doing research separate of this. This is like 3 years ago. This is no, I was in way before this film. Just personally I was just interested to see what the hell this was all about and where we're at. Um, so that's I was well aware of the story that this has inspired this script well before I read it.
Yeah, there's so many murder podcasts and documentaries that like I feel like a lot of this stuff was lost for a while. Now we're just finding out all this information at once, and everyone gets obsessed with them and just gets taken deeper into the concept of what goes on here and everything like that.
Yeah,
But
agreed. It's
you,
sorry, go ahead.
you've got Mel Gibson in this movie as Agent Petrovic, and I talked to Nora last week, and I was like, "What is your first impression seeing him like in the Hawaiian shirt, like this Jimmy Buffett version of Mel Gibson, just getting off the plane like that? What was your takeaway from that as him as an actor in the movie with you guys?"
Well, it was surreal, first of all. I don't remember if it was written that way or not, but I think Mel just he took it to in Mel fashion. That's just what he does. He just elevates and takes it to the next level. He added layers to it. But we were both, that was like I think it's the first scene we shot um with Mel and on the movie. And that was during a sandstorm, but we didn't expect Mel to come out like that and to take it to that level, dude. We were like, whoa. He's going for it, and it's actually worked out. So our reaction was pretty genuine. Not a lot of acting going on there. Um, but I love what Mel did with this character, and I love where he took it. You know, that he did. I mean, it's Mel Gibson. He's phenomenal in this.
You have Curtis Jackson, 50 Cents in this movie too. And like I've seen 50 in a bunch of stuff, movie wise. He's been a football player, he's been a gangster. I wasn't expecting to see him as chief of police. Was that something you expected to be like, oh, he's my boss, he's the chief of this department here?
No, and I know. So I know it's my second movie with 50, and I love the fact that he really wanted to play this part because he hasn't done a role like this. It's not his normal go-to. Um, And so I understand why he wanted to do it. But I love seeing him play this kind of character, something that he hasn't done before. And I thought he killed it. And one thing I'll say about 50 though, his next I want to do a comedy with him because people don't know this about 50, but he's got the best sense of humor. He's one of the funniest dudes on the planet. He'll have everybody on set laughing. He's so disarming and engaging, and he's just a sweet guy. He's such a lovely dude. But he's funny. Not he can do comedy. He needs to do a comedy next.
I see him on Twitter or X and Facebook all the time. His posts are always funny. It's always comedy when it comes to 50, I think, at
He's
that point.
funny. I know, and I want to do it. I want to do a two-hander with him because once he breaks, I want to be the first person in a comedy with 50.
the Boneyard, not to give any spoilers away, but it kind of ends on like a cliffhanger. Are you guys trying to set this up as like a Boneyard sequel? Are we going to see more Boneyard stuff? Because it kind of lends itself to that at that point, right?
It definitely lends itself to that. And it's up to, if it were up to me, I would say yes. I actually I proposed a series. I don't know where that stands now, but it definitely lends itself to a continuation of this story. And that's up to Lionsgate, and we'll see what happens. But hopefully the movie will 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 warrant a sequel or more.
Yeah. I usually do a segment here towards the end as we start wrapping up called I Can't Have You Here and Not Ask, where we talk about past projects and future projects. And I have to say, like, I know you're in one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite twist movies of all time is Basic. It's not something I expected to like going into it, but when I left, I was just like thrilled with this movie that I just saw. And I know it didn't get great reviews and everyone has their own opinions on the director, but what are your memories filming Basic? Like, did you know that twist was going to happen, or did they kind of keep it secret until like the end to reveal and everything like that?
Dude, the one of my favorite scripts I've read like in 5 years at that time, and I was so lucky to get that role. And Jamie Vanderbilt wrote this, and he's a phenomenal writer. I got to be honest with you, the ending, which is that the whole twist, was different than what you saw in the film, but it was such a good twist. Yeah, I was aware of it, and I was aware of the change too. Now, I kind of like the original ending better, which was different than what we filmed, and I won't tell you why, right? But it's still a great film I love that movie too. I thought it should have done a lot better, but
I
Jamie,
look, I just
yeah.
remember Harry Connick Jr. just looks at Travolta and he goes, "Tom, Ray Dunbar is black." And I was like, I usually see twists coming a mile away. I did not see that coming at all. I was like, what?
No,
It's
I
just not.
know. Yeah, I know. No, it was a great script, great character to play, lots of twists, and it's a good one.
I'll have to ask you about the original ending off camera or something at
I
some
will.
point. So, but
It's
last week I had your co-star Nora on, but I also had another one of your co-stars from a different film. I had Eric Bana on, and
oh nice.
I had Ridley Scott's daughter Jordan on to talk about the new
But
movie that she's directing him in. You were Jeff Strucker in Black Hawk Down, and like that's such a star-studded cast of a movie, and like maybe not at the time, but now as everyone's grown, it's like, were you guys on set all at the same time, or like what was the filming like for that? Did you get to see like everybody? You were all in like different sections doing it.
no, well, sometimes we all got to see each other because we all lived at the same hotel. All of us at the same time. We shot this in Rabat, Morocco. Um, and you get all those dudes together, and out of away from home in a faraway country. A lot of shenanigans happened, and then that movie too took a long time to shoot. So we all had to go to set, and we wouldn't work. We had to go to set. We all spend all of our days at base camp, and we didn't really. Some days we wouldn't work at all. We just have to be on standby. And you get a bunch of dudes like that, just waiting around in the middle of the desert, nowhere. That a lot of craziness happens, but we're all friends. I gotta say, like, I love it. I know. I just talked to Eric for the first time. I was in Australia shooting Joe versus Carol, with Billy Fickner, but I was telling somebody else earlier, like we're all still. It's a special experience, you probably heard stories of guys who shoot films together, like Saving Private Ryan. Boys have the same thing. We had the Black Hawk Down thing. It's like we're all still friends. We see each other. Like it's an immediate connection, and I'm still really good friends with most of those guys today. Still,
It's such an important movie, especially like the 21st century at that point. Like probably the best war movie we've had since 1999, since Saving Private Ryan and The Thin Red Line. But we got a wrap here, Brian. But I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about the Boneyard and all this other stuff. And I can't wait for everybody to see it when it comes out. And hopefully we get to talk again at some point.
I hope so too. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, see ya.